Here we go.
All right, cheers.
It's the Big Trav and Q Show.
What they waiting for?
Just another damn podcast. Now let's go.
That's right. That's right. It's the Big Trav and Q Show. It's your man DJ Big Trav in the building. When we started this podcast, man, you dream about getting guests like this next guest, man. Sir Jinx, man. Sir Jinx is in the building. Everybody make some noise for Sir Jinx. First of all, man, thank you for joining us. Thank you for agreeing to come on the show. I really appreciate it, man. Much love to you.
Oh, man, thank you for having me, man. You know, I'm always willing to support this real hip-hop. You feel me?
That's what's up. That's what's up. So off the top, man, I want to check on your COVID-19 status and everything. I mean, have you been practicing social distancing? Everything good? You healthy? Everything okay?
Yeah, I've been doing what I'm supposed to do. You know, I still got to make my runs. I still got to get around. I didn't turn into a hermit. It was a hermit. But I stay away from people. That's the way I was always. So it seemed like the world has caught up to my behavior a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah, you were low key, man. But the good thing about Cube, he always mentioned you. He mentioned you all the time. And as a Cube fan, we knew who Sir Jinx was. We always heard T-Bone, KD, and we heard Sir Jinx most of all. And so we knew you were vital to his career because we heard your name the whole way. We heard your name the whole way, man. So listen, man, I know everybody probably don't know the CIA days, but let me just give them a refresher. We going back to the beginning. We going back to like 86, 87, Sir Jinx, KD, and Ice Cube.
Right.
They had a group called CIA.
Right.
They put out the song you hear most of the time is My Posse.
Right.
You hear that cut coming out, and actually you can hear Jinx rapping on some of those tracks. So if you guys want to go, that stuff is on YouTube. Go to YouTube and you can hear all the Sir Jinx, all the CIA stuff on YouTube. Check it out. But that's where he had his beginning.
Right.
Are you Dr. Dre's cousin? Is that the story?
Yeah.
Okay. He's Dr. Dre's cousin. So just producing and being a star just runs in his family. And
we kind of just started with the same impulse of enjoying hip hop. It was like a little more than just music. It was like hip hop made us really enjoy it.
Now let me ask you about that in the beginning. Did your cousin, did he mentor you at all in the beginning as far as producing concerned? Did he mentor you?
Yeah, well, it wasn't it was like we was kind of growing together when it came to doing music, but he took it to another level when it was like going to the studio and knowing how to format songs and stuff like that. So it was like, I was up under him, you know what I'm saying, learning a lot from him. He definitely influenced me a lot when it came to putting together music and how to structure a group. And, we with Dr. Dre is where, you brought up the CIA, but we were in the group. We changed the name to CIA. And the first name of the group was the Stereo Crew. And we was the Stereo Crew. And that's when we got the deal with Epic Records. So yeah, he's been a big part of my career and how I feel about music.
Now when Cube left to go to NWA, were you still hanging out? Were you still around during the NWA days?
I'll repeat the question because it kind of chimed out a little.
Okay.
You said
I said
or whatever.
Yeah, I said when Ice Cube left for NWA from CIA, were you still hanging out with Cube?
Well, we were still doing business. Like we didn't really hang out like that because he was older than me a little bit, and he had his friends and I had my friends. So it was more or less we got together for the music. So it wasn't like we was like going to clubs and stuff together. Like our mentality is a little bit different. But yeah, when he asked me to go to New York with him, you know, he knew that I could hold him down when it came to, you know, making decisions about music and stuff like that. So that's probably what made us work really good together, is because we probably didn't hang out together. You know what I'm saying? It was a little different.
Right. Now when he left in that call, like when he finally called, or did you gonna leave, or did he just call you like, hey, I'm out?
No, we kind of knew. It was pretty much set up about when, I mean, everything was like, with the situation or how his situation was, you kind of saw it coming. You know, it's like a basketball player that's waiting to get traded. You kind of knew it was coming. It was inevitable. It was going to happen. And as it happened, and he called, and we were still working on music, and we think, working on ideas and, doing little stuff like that. So when he decided to make that change, he just hit me and was like, hey, you want to go to New York? And I'm like, yeah. He said, let's roll. And it happened that fast.
Yeah, that had to be exciting, man. And so was that your first time going to the East Coast?
No, because I don't remember, because I did go to, I was on the road with NWA. So when I was like 17, 18, when they was traveling, but I just don't remember how far we went. I don't know if we went to New York. I would have to think, but
okay,
I would have to remember how I felt going to New York. But I don't know. That was a good question. I don't know, because I did travel when NWA was on tour, but I don't know if they performed in New York. But it might have been the first time I went to New York. Who knows? But not the first time I traveled.
Guys hooked up. You know what I never found out was why did he choose? Well, you know what? I guess I did see that in the interview. I was about to ask, why did Ice Cube choose to go with the Bomb Squad? But he said that he said when NWA was on tour, he said he had often chopped it up with Chuck D, and he thought that Chuck D was solid, and he said he approached him about doing his album. So I do remember that. But once you guys once Chuck D and the Bomb Squad, so what was I like?
Your phone I think keep cutting out. What you saying? It keep pausing, like right when you finish the question, right when you say, "Hey, what
was working with the Bomb Squad like?"
Working with the Bomb Squad was real dope, man. It was a brand new situation, and it's just amazing to see how people put together music in different ways. You know what I'm saying? There's a million ways to skin a cat. So by the time we got there, they had their process on how they do it and how they got down. And it was real interesting to work with Eric Sadler and Keith Shockley and Hank Shockley. And, Chuck was there in and out. And then it was more people, it was my guy, Epitome, Rob was there, Son of Berserk was always around with us, you know what I'm saying? It was a lot of people that was kind of, giving us support by being in New York, holding us down.
Now let me ask. Now when Cube said that he was leaving and he was doing his own album, were you ever concerned? Were you concerned about your future? Following him over there?
Nah. I mean, it wasn't like I followed him, because I wasn't in NWA. We just worked on music together. Right. So it wasn't like I left. I didn't leave anywhere. I got hired.
Right.
So nah. We when that situation happened, like I said, it's like when a basketball player gets traded, and if you look at how a basketball guy get traded, you don't think he's gonna just completely lose his career, because he was dope within himself. So it was almost like, Drain was the brain and Cube was the heart. But you can transplant Cube somewhere else, and he would still work. It would still work out. And then working with Public Enemy, that's like, getting traded to already a championship team. It was already making championship relationship, so we wasn't really worried, you know, not at all. Actually, it was fun. It felt like the same process with Dr.
That's
Dre.
what's up.
It just didn't feel like you get there and they didn't know what they were doing. They knew what they were doing. We didn't know what they were doing. But as we started learning the process of how they work, then we kind of understood. But we never was worried about the outcome. We just knew, kind of like you knew. It just felt good. You know, it was freezing out there, but it was kind of a working environment. Right. So I like that. I took a lot away from that by being around Eric Sadler and his process and Chuck D's process.
You know what? I was watching an interview with Snoop on the Breakfast Club, and he said that when Ice Cube came over and worked with the Bomb Squad, he said that was history. He said that was the changing point in hip hop. You know, that allowed East Coast and West Coast to work together. I mean, right. Do you agree? Well,
that wasn't the first time, but that was a good time because you already had LL Cool J and the LA Posse. They already had connected, and then Bobcat and LL Cool J as well. So it opened the door a little bit more, but it had happened already. Even with Ice-T and where Ice-T came from and came to LA, and you know, it was a lot that had already happened. But it happened for us as well as when I did the Cool G rap record. So merging the East Coast and West Coast was a good thing. We was all open for that.
Now, when you was doing all the producing for Ice Cube, were you thinking about your career and were you thinking about your projects? Were you doing stuff on the side for yourself?
Yeah, I was always putting stuff together with different artists, trying out different people, trying out different techniques, and letting some of my guys that I was working with kind of demo the vocal on the track. And then if I kind of like it, then, you know, I'll be like, okay, I can push this over to, you know, whether it be Yo-Yo, whether it be, you know, Dale, whether it be Q, whether it be whoever I was working with. I was working with a lot of people at the time. So I just love to do music. So that's all I was doing. I wasn't really thinking about a career at it. I was just looking at it like, this is what I want to do. And career seems like when, you know, you have a job, and that definitely didn't seem like I was working. It seems like I was having a good time the whole time.
Now, the How to Survive in South Central, the Boys in the Hood soundtrack, man.
Yeah.
How did that come about? How did that come about? Was that, you know, did they ask him because he was in the movie? I mean, how did that come about?
Right. When we was working on Boys in the Hood, the movie, and you know, they started working on the sound. They had made the movie already, because sometimes they make the movie with dummy tracks. Like they'll put music in the movie and then start replacing them. You feel me? And when
right.
John asked us to work on the track together, because a lot of the time when Q was working on the movie, we were going in and out of we was touring. We were going back and forth, you know. And when John came up, I just thought of a song that represented the days of when I was like going to like the Cool Jazz Festival and like, you know, the Budweiser Superfest or something. Like I wanted a track to sound like when that dude like introduce you and like, ladies and gentlemen, coming out on the stage. And I just wanted that feeling. And we brought it off with the How to Survive in South Central. And then a fun fact in the How to Survive in South Central is I put my mother's name in it. So when it'd be like, hi, my name is Elaine. That's my mother's name. I got a tattoo on my arm somewhere.
Word.
Yeah.
Word.
So I always used to put my mother's name in my tracks. Yeah.
Now, the little skit in the beginning, is that are you in that skit in the beginning? Is that
nah. I think it was a lady. that hi, my name is Lane. I don't remember, but most of the time it was probably me or Cam or me or Threat or somebody. It was a lot of people in the studio, so people would be real eager to go in there and do background vocals. T-Bone, back in them days. So the lady, I think, was Don Sylvia that did that. That did the lady's voice of the supposed to been like on the intercom, like you flying over L.A. and then we're gonna take you over here. We're gonna show you like a tour guide. But Don Sylvia, that's the lady that's from the Bride.
That's what y'all was known for, man. Y'all was known for the skits.
Right. Visual instrumental.
Genius skit. Oh man. Seeing that you had a role in Poetic Justice, man. You made it in the movie, man. What was that like working in the movie?
Yeah, I just felt like they made the movie around me. No, I'm joking. What happened was how that happened. The movie never would have been, if I didn't do that one part, y'all would have never got the movie. Janet wouldn't have even signed on it. Now, what happened was in Boys in the Hood, there's a scene where there's a backyard scene, and John wanted a crane shot to come over the roof of the house. And I guess they went through some complications or whatever. They couldn't get the actual crane. And then I was DJing the backyard scene, like when he was like, "Hoes gotta eat too." I mean, if you look real fast when they dancing on the driveway, you will see that that's me over there DJing. So when that scene didn't come off the way John wanted it to come off, he promised me the next movie he was he promised me the next movie he do, he was gonna give me the role in it. So, because I was leaving the studio, coming up there, because when you shoot a movie, you gotta be there. Even if you're not in the shot, you gotta be there, and you gotta be there and be there and be there. So I don't know. I think I don't know what I was working on at the time, and he promised. And then plus we traveled and went to the Cannes Film Festival and all this stuff around when John was debuting his first movie. So I was around him a lot, and so when Poetic Justice came, he told me to come and read for it. And actually, he didn't tell me to read for it. He just told me he got a part for me, and they made me go take like some theater classes and stuff like that. So that was a pretty cool experience. So it wasn't like I just walked in off the street. I had to go and take acting classes.
Oh, that's what's up, man.
Part. Yeah.
That's what's up, man. You've been right there, man. You've been right there when all of the major shit happened on the West Coast, man. That's what's up, man.
Yeah, that's
you know
blessing,
what?
man.
Let's go to the let's talk about the Coogee Rap Project, man. Talk about the Coogee Rap Project.
Well, how that started was I was dealing with Karen Jones and Mike Conception. Shout out to Mike Conception for giving me a place to stay and a reason to do this rap music and how to get into the business. And then Benny Medina, and I was working on some remixes for Warner Brothers at the time. And then Karen Jones was like, do you like Coogee Rap? And I was like, yeah, I heard of Coogee Rap. I know about the symphony. I know about, I looked up to them, that whole idea, what they were doing, Juice Crew, and she was like, well, take a listen to some of these songs and see if you can remix them for me and, bring them up to studio quality. So they sent all these tapes down. And what I did to them, I just took them to the studio and started working on them. And then Coogee Rap liked it. He liked what I was doing. He liked the direction I was going. And they flew Coogee Rap and Polo out. And then we just started making new music. So it wasn't really like I was supposed to. It was kind of like the same thing with the Bomb Squad and Q. I was just supposed to work on a couple remixes. But then, of course, I had a whole bunch of beats at the time. And he liked the beats. And then, Big Daddy Kane came through, and Scarface and Bushwick Bill, recipes Bushwick Bill came through.
No doubt.
Just my musicians and everybody just made G-Rap feeling home. and we just knocked out a dope record. I feel like that's a really slept on record. But if you got a little long drive, got somewhere to go, you in your car, that's one of the good albums that you can listen to from top to bottom and really get something out of it. You can consistently play that record without skipping over no song.
Shout out to Coogee Rap, man. Shout out to Coogee Rap, man. The Symphony, man. One of my favorite songs, man.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna talk about artists that you've worked with. We had CC Peniston on the show the other day, man.
That's my girl.
Yeah, how was working with CC?
She's a real talented woman, man. She's when you can say too talented, like she can sing very, very well. She's down. She's down to earth.
She fine.
Oh, she's pretty. She's very pretty. But when I work with artists, I don't look at them like that. I look at her like she's my sister. Like, she stayed in my house when we was working on the album. I see her go, walk to the bathroom in the nighttime. I mean, I have my own situation going on, but I just looked at her like a sister, and she'll treat you like that. She's really approachable. She's open for suggestions.
No doubt. Definitely.
Stuff that she wants to try, and then she'll let you try. She'll be like, "You do it. Let me hear how you do it, and then I'll put my little take on it." And that's how, man, we work together a lot. She actually helped me with A&M Records, and I think it was Manny Lehman, and they gave me a lot of money to work with her, so it really worked out for me. I liked it.
Shout out to CC. Gerald Levert, man. That's our hometown boy over here, man. That's our dude over here.
Yeah.
How about Gerald? How was it to work with Gerald?
Gerald is cool. Same thing. Very approachable guy. Him and shout out to Big Joe. That was his security cat. They would call me, and he'll come through the house or come catch up with me or whatever. It's just a terrible loss that we lost a beautiful singer like that.
No doubt.
I was able to make a record called The Picnic, and it was a take on the Family Reunion song. And when I made it, I had this one dude, I think his name was Norris at the time, and he could sing like that 70s. It's so nice to see. And and I saw Gerald Levert in the club, and I was like, "Hey, man, I got this song." I thought I was crazy. I got this song. I'm in the studio right now because the studio was down the street, so we were like, "Yo, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna go to this club. We're gonna hang out, have some drinks, come back, get our work on." And Gerald Levert left the club with us and came to the studio and sung the whole song.
That's what's up. Man. Shout out to
He didn't want to get paid though, so we had to pay him. He did get paid, but I promised that he was definitely gonna get paid.
That's what's up. Come on, man. Isaac Hayes, man. What did you do with Isaac Hayes, man? Really, Isaac Hayes? You work with the legendary Isaac Hayes.
Right. Well, once again, my mind was crazy, and I had a song called "All for the Money," and the guy Norris again was singing like that 70s sound. I was really stuck in that 70s sound. And a lady named Candy, she worked with my publishing company. She knew him. She knew Isaac Hayes. So she connected me and Isaac Hayes. And I went out to Memphis, went out there for maybe a week or so, and just sat and kicked it with the guy. And he of course did the vocals on the track that I wanted him to do. He let me hear a lot of the music that he was working on, and it was really, really, really dope, man, to sit with him. I was at awe. There's only a few people that will make me feel like that, and he made me feel like that, and then he made me feel at home. Then he made me feel like I can talk to him. At first, I was scared of him. I was like, wow, this, you can't be like that in the studio.
That's what's up, man.
Because people, not take you serious, So you got to sometimes like shake it off.
Right.
He's just a regular person. But once he gets to telling his stories and all the stories that and if anybody know Isaac Hayes, they'll say that he'll sit you down and get to telling his stories. I remember one story he was telling me. was that back in the day when they was traveling on their tour buses or whatever, they on the trucks that carried the stage and stuff like that, they would put their motorcycles. He was a real motorcycle buff kind of guy. That's what reminds me of my uncle. That's why I took to him so much, because he kind of reminded me a lot of my uncle.
Right.
So he said when they get to the cities, they would jump on the motorcycles and hit the cities and all the guys and whatever. So they was going around the arena and everybody was going around the arena. So he would like went another way, like try to beat him or something. And then he said he failed. He said he failed. And it's funny how he told me, said, man, I fell on my bike. And then he said he took his raggedy bike, went to a motorcycle shop, bought the same bike and came back. he said nobody knew I failed.
Hilarious.
Yeah, Isaac was, I had a lot of good times working with him.
That's what's up. That's what. You know what? Let's talk about that Detox album, man. So you was working with Dre on Detox?
Well, I was working on music and just submitting ideas and stuff like that. That was about it. Just trying to keep my hands, keep my irons in the fire. It was cool that he finally liked the beat that I did. It's very hard for him to like my beat sometimes, but he finally liked the track that I had produced, and then he brought in some more instrumentation on it, and got Amber, Marsha Ambrosia and T.I. to kind of knock it down. But that was the song that was supposed to be on Detox. So he kept that beat alive. The song's called Dope. And he kept that beat alive. It was like a few years later, but they say good songs is good songs no matter what year you play them. So if they'd be new to you guys, but I had did it back in like 2008 or something like that. So when he was really working on the Detox thing, and I think the part of when the records got leaked or something like that, like back in the day, and I think that really crushed Dre's inspiration on dropping the Detox. But Detox was definitely on its way, man. I was really hoping that I can land a track on that record, but yeah, it was over for that. After that leak, somebody leaked a lot of the music with Jay-Z or something with, you know the story. But,
you know what? You know what, Jinx, man, I'm gonna put you on the spot right quick. Man. Okay, better producer, Kanye West or Dr. Dre?
Dr. Dre.
That was easy. He said a home team, huh?
I mean, I like Kanye West as an artist. I like Kanye West as a producer, but I'm a fan of Dr. Dre.
Right, no doubt. Same here.
Right.
I got the same answer you got. I got the same.
Yeah, I can listen to a whole bunch of producers, but some of them I'm fans of, and I was like, oh, they taught me something. They make me feel a certain kind of way when you hear like dum 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 when you hear the Public Enemy, that
right.
Like that was like, but Kanye is a dope artist, trust and believe, he's very creative, but I don't know, Dr. Dre has made me
That's my dude, man. I feel the same way. Okay, let's put on your versus hat. Let me see here. Listen, let's do okay. I was trying to think. I said, who could Jinx battle in a versus battle producer? I was trying to find somebody, your speed.
Man,
so
a couple people talked about it, and I don't know if the body of work that I carried that was so monumental in the days is kind of unfair.
I'm gonna throw a couple of names at you, and I think these guys, I think you can handle them, and I want to. You let me know if you think you'll get them. Battle Cat, you versus Battle Cat. Can you get him? You think you'll get him?
I mean, I think I'll get anybody. But Battle Cat is like my brother. I love his music. His music has made me feel like Dr. Dre.
Right.
Yeah. He's done a lot of music. And like I was saying, there's certain people in this game. It wouldn't fascinate me to compete with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand what the verses and how that go, but I don't think I would get anything out of going against Battle Cat or going against DJ Quick.
You've had a more successful career than Battle Cat. Would you agree?
I wouldn't compete with him. He's dope. I mean, that's like, I don't look at it like that. Like, I don't look at who's more successful. I look at Battle Cat like he inspired me. He was the one that come to my house and show me how to do the talk box.
Right.
Same thing with DJ Quick or DJ Pooh or, you know what I'm saying, Ant Banks. I mean, it was like you going out in the front yard and slap boxing with your dad. Just
right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know if that's cool. I wouldn't even want to do that. But some of the New York guys, I probably could feel comfortable with winning that battle. But
okay, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that, because
some of the New York guys, it's a little too personal.
Okay, let me see. Let me give you Eric Sermon. Eric Sermon, producer.
Hey, I mean, it ain't on me to pick who I am. You know what I'm saying? You know the answer's gonna be every time. But you have to ask other people. Like, you have to ask me, how do I feel about Chuck D battling LL? You know, then I have an opinion.
Okay, all right. I'll tell you what.
I don't have no opinion when it comes to me, you know, putting my body of work up against somebody that
Okay, let's leave you out. Let's leave you out.
I'm gonna win that one all day. Why would I think I would lose? You know.
Right. Let's do
Maybe
Battle Cat.
Quincy Jones or Riley, you know,
right.
Some of them dudes, they might punch me up, but I got too. But
okay,
I wouldn't want to do that.
I'll leave you out. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna leave you out. Okay, Battle Cat and Eric Sermon. Who you got?
I think Battle Cat.
You think Battle? I agree.
Because when you say Eric Sermon, you got to bring DJ Scratch in, so you got to figure out which one has done the most for EPMD or the most for with the situation. Because when you say Eric Sermon, I think of EPMD. I don't think of Eric Sermon's solo career. I think of EPMD. So I'll probably have to go to Battle Cat. I mean, but I'm from the West Coast, and I've probably heard more Battle Cat beats than Eric Sermon beats.
All right, let's do. Let me see. You know who I like too? EA Ski. That's
my guy.
You cool with EA Ski?
Yeah, man. We talk all the time, man.
That's my dude. I like his trap.
You know, he's like my gym buddy for the studio. You know, like if I have a question, an inquiry on a new module or something, we had that kind of weird conversation about what he works on, what I work on. Yeah, EA Ski has been around me for basically all my career, mostly.
That's what's up, man. One of the West Coast's just dope producers. You know, I'm reading on my paper. It says you DJ on the Jimmy Kimmel show. What was that shit like, man? That's Sir Jinx on Jimmy Kimmel.
Just getting my feet wet, you know. That's usually something that.
How did you get that? How did you get that gig?
I think at the time I was DJing for Roscoe, Corrupt Brothers, when Roscoe had a deal with Priority Records and stuff like that. And then, you know, that's how I was doing it. Just DJing up there and DJing for Roscoe.
Oh, okay. And you done the Jimmy Kimmel. I'm gonna go through YouTube, see if I can find that.
No, that'll be dope because they really liked the song. I think it was I Love Cali in the Summertime. That's when Roscoe was doing that one. And you know, doing that, it kind of, you know, brought me back to when I was doing all the Rap Cities, you know, working with the Rap City crew and in DC and Washington, you know, and that was real fun. I did a whole bunch of shows. They say I did more shows than everybody. I think it was when one person, Scratchator, I think that's Busta Rhymes DJ. I think he did more Rap Cities than Rap City the Basements than I did, but I did more rap BET shows than probably any DJ. Period.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Now let me ask you. Okay, I'm a DJ too. Are you, are you a turntablist? Can you cut? Can you scratch? Can you do routines?
Right.
Okay.
I don't base my get down. I mean, you know, I look at being a turntablist type of DJ is a young man sport.
Right.
There's dudes that can scratch under what they knee and they forehead
I know.
and all that. But if you can't rock the crowd, the girls don't be liking all that behind the back.
I feel you. I feel you on that.
That's one person's style. That's not DJing. That's a person's style. So when people have the tricks, that's like his style, you know. So I try to stay in my lane. In my lane, I can triple threat. I can bring it back. It's time. That's it. But doing the tricks is something that I wasn't into. I was more into blending and making sure,
Same here.
Colors over things, making it seem seamless. Like they think they looking around while I'm DJing, seeing if I'm playing as a reel to reel on the ground or something, and I'm not making any mistakes. I try to DJ without no creases, without no clicks, without no flanges.
Right.
That's one thing that I did get from, you know, Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre had like, you know, softest hands in the game. You know, he could DJ all night. You'll think it's a mixtape with Dr. Dre DJing back in the day. And DJ Pooh. DJ Pooh had some real slick hands too back in the day that I kind of looked up to. And, you know, my homeboy Fat Jack from around the corner from my house, and Wild Style crew. Man, there was some beautiful days, you know, back with the Egyptian Lover days and stuff like that. So I would just, and shout out to DJ Yeller. DJ Yeller had a nice little spin on him too. Don't forget about DJ Yeller. DJ Yeller. I mean, you know, when Drake get on stage, you know, Yeller was the DJ. You know?
Right.
He did know how to DJ.
Yeah, you know what? I wasn't I didn't set out to be a turntablist, but I always practiced because I mean, I was on tour with Mike Epps. I done 2 dates with Mike Epps. I done 3 dates with Spice One. And so, you know, and I didn't know, I thought Spice was gonna like throw it to me on stage and was like, Trav, get him. So I had to practice me a routine just in case Spice was like, Trav, get him. So, so I always had a set scratch routine always ready. Just
you a real DJ, man. Because if you don't come ready, you ain't ready.
Nah.
I'm always cheating. I cheat like a motherfucker. They're like, oh no, just give me hope you got, you know, back in the day when you asked for records, but now you got your computer. But you know, I definitely would cut. Man, I didn't cut so many DJs from DJing, and they not knowing that I planned this. I've worked on it for months. Start off a little weird and bring it back.
Right.
The next thing you know, they like, they're like, oh, I'm like, ooh, that worked. I always practice.
I've never, but you know what? I practiced for it, but I've never had to use it because Spice One, he had a set, he had a digital set already planned, and I just played it and just talked on the mic every now and then, and then
it be like that. But you know, sometimes you'll get that extra cushion at the end of the night where, you know, when it good night, and then they'll let you know, have a little small window before the next. But with a Mike Epps thing, I think it was pretty to the numbers on the times. But sometimes you can get a little bit of sound check, get it in, rock the sound check. You feel me?
I got it in with Mike Epps because I warmed up the crowd before they came out.
Okay, well, okay.
And so I got it in like an hour before they started. But once they started, I played their travel music. Like when they introduced them, they all came out to a song. So that was the only thing.
Right.
And so
the transition music, right.
Other than that hour setup, you know, that hour warm up music is what I, you know, and I would, you know, I didn't get into my mix set, but you know, but I would do something to let everybody know that I'm there. You know,
right.
So.
Well, everything's a little different. I mean, you know, at some point, you know, I be wanting to go crazy and be like, nah, this is the exiting part. You know, I remember one dude, shout out to my guy a long time ago that made the Century Club, Ted Dozier. And he used to have clubs. And they wouldn't take me serious because they thought that I would run out on them, like, because I was always touring and always doing something. So when the Century Club, like towards the end of the Century Club, he started letting me DJ in the VIP. He made up a VIP room, and but I was playing like more or less groove, like, you know, soul groove. What do we call it? Rare groove. I played like rare groove. So
okay.
I wanted to be on the big tables. But I had to do it another way. I had to rock the, you know, before I let go. Right. But everybody liked it. So that's what got me a job. I made my own job. They had enough chugga DJs, you know what I'm saying? So he's like, wow, I'll let you do the VIP room, whatever. And the VIP room was turned up. So I like, sometimes you can't do what you want to do all the time. But I can adjust, trust and believe.
Hey, well, let me say, I listened to Hood World Order. That's dope, man. That's dope. And then
I'm glad you like it, man.
Oh yeah, that's dope. I'm like, you know, damn, we need to see some videos. We need to see some videos off of that, man.
It's just me working and some of the stuff that I was working on, and I thought rather than, you know, letting it die on my computer or on my hard, I said I better get this out before these hard drives die. Because hard drives do die, and so that was like a Hood War Order for me, and Corrupt and Noble, and I had a lot of people, man. A lot of people come to my studio, and even shout out to FAV from the Bay. You know what I'm saying? I think he's done a couple of songs, and Kid Frost, and a lot of people that were on that record with me. But it started out with me doing it for them. You know what I'm saying? Like I was working with Corrupt and TriStar and Roscoe and all the people that I was working with, trying to get songs placed on their record because I already had a studio. So, you know, maybe their situation might have fell through, and some of the situations they did put it out, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I definitely put it out on my own, kind of like, you know, a Dr. Dre kind of Chronic kind of album. That's what geared me up to do the second one, the West Wing album. And the West Wing is kind of continuation of the Hood War Order. So when you like the Hood War Order and West Wing, they both the same kind of like concept. You feel me? You know, one is they all government sounding.
You know what's next for you, Jinx, man? Because it just seemed like you got a lot left. It seemed like you got a lot left, man. As I go over all your information and as I researched you, I'm like, this dude, it just seemed like you got something left in the tank. So what's next for you, man?
Oh man, just educating people. I really like, you know, talking about the music and my struggle, and inspiring other producers to feel the same way. Don't have to chase another boat to be able to, you know, to float. You know, you can do it on your own, and you'll feel better when you do it that way. And I just always been that ray of light to people that don't have that kind of outlet, you know. So that I want to continue to do that. And I love music. We would never separate. Sometimes the music don't love me, but I'm always chase that ball with the music. So just doing more music, maybe jump into a couple more you know, soundtracks, you know, or more going to scoring with these shorter films that people got, because back in the day it was a little harder for them just to randomly let you score a movie, but now the scoring is, I have a lot more music to be able to submit to that cause of working with different people to do music syncing and stuff like that. Because, you know, with the Hood War Order and the West Wing, I also released the album just now called Imperial, and it's my instrumental. So I got like 4 or 5 different instrumental records, like to, you know, inspire the new writer or somebody that just want to listen to some hardcore, you know, bang bang on their system, or trying out their system. I got one called Beats for Food. I got The City Never Sleeps, and I got Jinx Instrumentals. And upcoming, I got another instrumental record that is based on my R&B connections and the people like I work with. Like we say, I work with CC, Keith Washington, Mint Condition, and all these kind of people. I did like remixes for them. So my next instrumental album, the Jinx Instrumentals 2, that's gonna come out. I don't know if I'm gonna drop it this year, but I might drop it at the beginning of the year. But you know, instrumental crowd's a little finicky, so you know it got to take a little more time for that to take off. But I definitely, a lot of people like my instrumentals. It's like, especially with the Imperial record, because of course I used to live off of a street called Imperial, so that my name was Imperial Sir Jinx, you know, so that's how I kind of came up with that. But then years later, people start naming themselves after the street, you know.
Right.
So that was a record when I lived off of Imperial, was like in the early 80s, like the 80s and the 90s. So that inspired me to make a certain type of music with the SB 1200, with the Roland 808s, and the beginning of hip hop. So that music, that album is catered to that kind of sound. So a lot of people come to me and be like, "Jinx, man, we need that sound again. You know, everything is going into another direction, you know." And I'll be like, "I don't know. Everybody don't really care about it." It's like, we care about it. So I kind of thought about like the OJs and thinking about stylistics and thinking about people like that. And I'm like, well, I still like, you know, Lionel Richie. I still like, you know, that kind of music. So it inspired me to do a theme-oriented album that was based on the tracks that I made back in the early 90s. So that's how I named that record Imperial, because that's when I felt like the music, that was that timeline. So it's like a period piece with the Imperial instrumental. So I definitely like that. Check that out. If y'all listen, go check it out. It's good to listen.
So let me ask you this. So if there's some artists in my area, if I let them listen to the Imperial instrumentals,
yeah,
and they like a song on Imperial, so what do? Do they get a hold of you?
Right. Well,
okay.
I mean, they could do whatever they want to do. I mean, it's just like it's almost like I'm giving back on how I did so many samples and then didn't tell nobody or something. You know, if they gonna make some money off of it, then yeah, of course I want to get paid. But if they want to spar with it, they want to drop it, they can hit me. You know what I'm saying, on my Instagram. Okay. They can hit me off of the YouTube. You can hit me on YouTube and be like, yo, I want to use this track, and, you know, we can figure it out. You know, mostly I got this from one of my guys named Trevor Lawrence that worked with Dr. Dre. And it was like he gave me a bunch of beats for one of the artists I was working with. And he said something that was so cold that it just changed my way of thinking for my music. And I was like, man, how much you want for the track? He was like, oh, Jinx, don't worry about it. He said, I'm getting paid. He said, just put my publishing and put where the beat came from, and I'll be happy with that. And that's what I tell producers and writers and rappers. Just put my name on it, and then it'll pick up, you know, my publishing and the situation, the monetizing and all that. It'll pick up on its own. But most of the time, you know, depends on who it is. You know, if it's a starting out artist, then, you know, I'll give them a chance. But, you know, they out there to be sold to soundtracks and to be put up like that. So if you're a little more corporate, I would think you want to donate to the cause. But if you a person that really ain't got it like that, then I'll donate to the cause, and they can just do the rap how they want to do it. And then let me hear it. Just don't make it weirdo music. Like, don't say nothing crazy over my beats.
Well, you know, it's funny you say that. So I'm gonna ask about, like, right now. I mean, is there anybody you want to work with now? Do you see any of these young artists? Any of these young artists out here you want to work with?
Yeah, I mean, but you know, I don't really look at rappers like that anymore. You know, some of they.
I got one for you. I got one for you.
Well, I was saying.
I think the baby. I think Sir Jinx and the baby. Y'all need to team up, man, for real. The baby on a Sir Jinx track, that'll be dope, man, for real.
Well, what I was trying to tell you is sometimes the process of how not the baby, not nobody like that. I mean, yeah, that, but I'm not talking about him in particular. I'm just saying some of the process of how they do music is just a little bit different for me to just be like, oh, I want to work with that person. Like, I really don't feel like that. I be like, I think they process is dope, and I respect it from afar. Like you watching a movie, you're like, damn, I wish I would have acted in that movie. Like, right. I don't look at rappers. I like to be inspired. You know what I'm saying? I'll probably be like, oh, okay, I probably want to knock one out with Nas. You know what I'm saying? Knock one down with I don't know, with Jay-Z. It don't matter to me, because I just sell weapons. I don't give a fuck who fires.
For sure.
I think I come into the ring like Mike Tyson, and I want to spar with the best of them, that like I've been listening to the Griselda guys, you know what I'm saying? They got my ear ringing a little bit, on what they doing. But that's just basically the same thing that I do. So you be like, yeah, who would you want to work with? It's like, they just got to be on that kind of flow, man. Like,
right.
I don't. It's a little bit flashy right now, and people are getting notoriety for they flash, not because they lyrical ability, And I come from the day where rap had to have some type of substance and punchlines and metaphors and assemblies and different things that come with being a good writer, not a good bragger. A lot of the game is bragging now. I get it. I have no problem with it. There's a change of the guards, but eventually, the whole castle is being overran by weirdos, So pretty soon the door is going to shut again, and it's going to be a change back to where you have to have, that lyrical situation. Oh yeah, maybe like a Kendrick or something like that, a J. Cole, and a Black Thought. Now that I'm trying to think about it, it's a whole bunch of people. But
right.
I don't think like that because I don't make beats like that. When I make beats, it don't be like, this beat can go to this guy. I make like, they have to figure it out. They'll be like, I like that kind of track. And I'll be like, I got a whole bunch of those tracks, but I don't like, I want to work with this guy. I never really think like that. I don't know why. But I never see nobody in my peripheral when I'm running. I think I'm in first place all the time, so I don't see nobody.
You know what I want to ask you? What was your favorite track that you produced? That's a good question for you. What was your favorite? What is that one beat that you was like, damn, that motherfucker is fire? The one beat you done where you was like,
I don't have a favorite beat.
You don't have a favorite? What?
No. I mean, that's man. Like you have a whole bunch of girlfriends. You like, which girl had the favorite?
Come on, man. Steady mobbing was hard as fuck. Steady mobbing was hard as fuck, man. That was hard as fuck, man. Come on, man. True to the game.
When the producer works on the track, it's usually the experience that makes the track memorable, not the actual track in its entirety, but it's usually the experience. Like some of the experiences that I had working with different people make me like the process more than the beat, because my beat is what I think it is. I think it's dope. I always think it's dope. I haven't worked on the beat. Well, yes, I have worked on a beat that I really too much didn't care for. Because they kept changing it, and that was the Looters track that we did with Ice Cube and Ice-T. But all the tracks all ping to full to me. By the time it gets to the mixing point, I like them all. They like it's like a one-eyed kid that you made, but you gonna love it just like a kid with both eyes. You still gonna have that same. And then you might love the one with one eye even more, just because it has had to work a little harder to get what regular able-bodied people could get. And some of the tracks that I work on, they make me feel different. Like it could be a way I felt in life, like and how much money I got for the track. You know what I'm saying? So it's funny that the Looters track, one on how much I got paid for it, and one on the least one I liked. So you know what I'm saying? So that makes me remember the song, how much I got paid, and I don't really like the track. Well, I didn't really care for it out of all of them, but all the rest of them, they all play a different play a different part in my life. No pun intended. They all dope.
Okay, let me ask this. What was the?
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Say something.
Yeah. What was your most?
I don't know what something happening. Wait, one more time. Let's try it again.
I said, what was the most successful song you was a part of?
Let me see.
Hello?
The speaker went down. Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but it's mad low.
Well, I speak up. I said, what was your most successful song?
I don't know. They all sold millions after you get after you get you don't keep track anymore.
You say you stopped counting, huh?
I mean, people say what's better, your first million or your 10th million. I mean, at the end of the day, when you can make $1 million, it's pretty much the same. So I like I'll probably say like Jacket for Beats.
Yeah. One of my favorites.
The creative, but it doesn't make it better than like Dead Homies. It doesn't make it better than, you know what I'm saying, like Once Upon a Time in the Project. It was just like, and like I said, the process make me remember the process of how the idea came about. You know what I'm saying? It was a EP that me and Q was making. It was fresh off of America's Most Wanted. He let me do the whole EP. You know, I did it by myself. So that makes, that it makes me, that's the first time, Q threw the projects in my hand, no pun intended. But the Jacket for Beats track, that was basically the first time you heard people rap over multiple tracks of other people. That was like the first kind of mixtape song, let alone mixtape period.
So that was your idea? That was your idea to do that?
That was Q's idea. Q had that idea. Well, it was a process. When you bounce, it's like bringing the ball up court. You bounce back, you give it to him, he give it back, you give it to him, you throw it up, alley-oop. It's because I had to understand it, because we did it a few different ways.
So was Q perspective? Now let me ask this: was Q perspective is I'm gonna honor these guys or I'm gonna murder these guys on their own track? Which one was it?
It wasn't. It was more honor. It's showing homage to people. And then plus, while like you say, when you was traveling with my ex and Spice One, we'll go to different cities, and like we go to the East Coast, and probably get meager love. We go to Atlanta, get a little meager love. Go to Memphis, go different places where another song will be the top song. So we come from the slaps. We come from the Roger slaps and the fat bass lines. So for us to be able to do that song, it was like for us to be them groups in their town, So
right.
Just like when you DJ and you pull up and you be like, oh, okay, I'm in North Carolina,
right?
You say, okay, I might want to play this guy, but you can't play. You don't want to go to, you know what I'm saying,
Memphis. Go to Memphis. You said Memphis. Go to Memphis. Play 8-Ball MJG, 3-6 Mafia. Yeah.
Right. But then you don't want to have a set that's so condensed and put together to where you go to, Rochester or something and play go-go and it don't go. You can't be stuck to your process. And when we did Jacket for Beats, it was like, people, different parts of the song was their favorite song.
Exactly.
The chug part, the big old butt with the EPMD and the Intentional Underground and
that was a genius idea. That was genius idea, man. That was genius. I still play that. I still get that off.
That was me learning the old school back in the day. If you was a producer, well, most producers came from DJing. Most DJing guys came from being dancers, you know, and that was just the old school mixtape brought to the highest level it could be put on. Because we used to do mixtapes back in the day, like, you know, little tapes. Everybody in their hood, when you talk to any rapper back in the day, his main purpose was to get his tape heard, and then you would circulate it throughout your neighborhood. Because back in the day, you know, shout out to Mixmaster Spade and Toddy T, you know, they mixed tapes going around, and when you get a Mixmaster Mixmaster Spade, little gangster tape. You know, it almost made your car look better. You know what I'm saying? Like, it made your boom box louder. You know, it made you be the fucking man. Like, who the hell? So when we did Jack Up for Beats, it was like a take on that time to me, because it had to be produced, and it had to be produced very well. You know, and it worked out. It's probably the most expensive track in rap history. Not expensive with it costing, but in the publishing was so goddamn high. I think it was like 150% for that song. So we had to put it on a record.
That's what's up.
That we had to give away publishing for other songs for that song to even be heard.
Exactly. Yeah, it seemed like it. You know what? Before we get out of here, man, you know, when I posted the promo that you was coming on the show, one of my DJ buddies in town, he was like, he said about you, he said, man, one of the dopest producers on the West Coast, man. He was like, he said, salute. So do me a favor. Can you shout out DJ J Rock, man? Shout out DJ J Rock.
All right, cool, man. I appreciate the compliment, DJ J Rock. You know what I'm saying? Keep the wheels spinning, keep the crowd on the floor, and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
Keep it moving, keep it going. That's a shout out to my guy Exhibit. Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
And then another thing that I'm going through, speaking of Exhibit, I'm working with J.O. You know, me and J.O. Felony got something coming out. We got 2 albums that had just dropped. You know what I'm saying? I got a few things that's going on. The West Coast and this Corona situation, we kind of brewing up stuff. Everybody got something in the pot. You know what I'm saying? I got another album that I got coming out. That's definitely going to be another instrumental joint. And then I got a couple of rappers that I'm working with out of San Diego, of course with J.O. and a few other guys that I got working on. I don't want to have a spoiler alert. I like everybody to be kind of looking out for it. Like I haven't been just in hiatus like that. I've been waiting on this parade to pass. I don't really want to compete with the music on how it is, because sometimes it can be, you know, when you start dealing with, you know, you give everybody a chance to shine. You know, sometimes all the light ain't for you sometimes. And, you know, sometimes you got to go back in the gym or go back into wherever you go and, you know, reinvent yourself or come out with a new sound or just perfect the sound that you have. So the way the direction of where the music is right now is real dope. Trust and believe. I like it. But sometimes it just ain't for everybody. You know, I don't try to be the best at being a producer. I try to be the best at what I do. You know, so some of the things you be like, okay, just like, you know, when, you know, I'm really going to throw no names out, but the music changed. You know, every 2 or 3 years, the music changes. And I don't want to change with the music. You know, I like to give them the process that I have. And now it seems like everybody got a big dose of you know, the auto-tune kind of music and stuff like that. And, you know, the morphing the beats and the very simple kind of tracks, which is dope. Trust me, you know, it's like a different fighter. You know, if you kick your ass, you kick your ass. And that shit is kicking ass right now, you know. So, but I'm definitely waiting on they get back to the heavyweights, you know, the heavyweight beats, you know.
Right.
That'll be good for me. Not saying that that's not heavyweight, because people say I'm old school. When I talk to some of my guys, and they, well, Jinx, you don't know, and you don't understand. And I'm like, now I feel like I'm from Cameo, or now I'm in now I'm the old guy talking about, what you talking about, son, champ? Hey, where your lyrics at? And it was like, hey, I don't need no lyrics. I need a 4-bar rap and a 19-bar hook. That's all you need now.
Well, let me tell you, I listened to Hood World Order and Imperial, man, and all them dope tracks, man. Those dope tracks.
Oh, thank you.
And you know what? I feel you on that, man, because that's my type of music. And Battle Cat is doing the same thing. He ain't changing either. He's still making that funky ass shit, that 90s gangster shit. He's still making it. I'm still loving it. It's still a market for it. I'm fucking with it. So y'all keep doing y'all thing, man.
When you're a producer and you're supplying a certain product that people say they want to buy, not only do the rapper want to buy, but the consumer want to buy it and want to stream it. But once you get on the internet, then you can find yourself on the internet. You can find the crowd that like what you do. And it just took a little time for us to get some good feedback, because it's harder for a producer to give feedback than a rapper. So once we start feeling like, okay, there is a market for this and it's never going to die, then you start feeling a little more confident about putting your music out and letting it compete with everybody that got it going on. You don't have to be, you don't have to turn off your radio when certain things are going on. You can just, play it for the people that want to hear it, and like Battle Cat, the DJ Quicks, the Dazzes, what I'm saying? Like all the guys that come from pretty much my era of doing music, we got to find ourselves in this conglomerate world of hip hop and the internet that we can find our fans, because sometimes our fans ain't always the ones on the internet, what I'm saying? Like the older cats are starting to now, especially like with my mom and, my older people that's in my family, when they get to learning how to send emails with attachments, then now we on to something. Because now our class of people, the early 40s, late 50-year-olds, they not really on the internet like that. But now the internet is on your phone, on your TV, smart TVs and stuff like that. So now I think it's a lane for all of us to be able to have a diverse way of putting out music and diverse way of making music. And that was one of the things that I thought that lacked in today's music is the diversity and what people can have and that's everybody not sounding the same. You know what I mean? Like everything sounds so much the same, to where back in the day when we was doing stuff, you was only as dope as your equipment. But now everybody have the same equipment, the music sound the same. So it's almost like the whole industry is like punking the consumer by giving them the same thing. Okay, yeah, they do like that. But, some people like Big Blue Planet. You know what I'm saying? Some people like Arrested Development. Some people like, what's the guy's name? PM Dawn. They in my world, they probably wasn't the most liked, but they had a good fucking run. They sold a lot of records. MC Hammer sold a lot of records, and shout out to MC Hammer, my guy. And Sir Mix-a-Lot, and you go, it was so diverse that you could just take out one cassette or a CD and pop something else in, and that sound is coming from them. But now the whole world is kind of sounding too much the same, and it takes the love away from the passion if the passion is all the same. Like, so that's good that producers like myself and Battle Cat and all the producers that's dropping instrumental albums is to build back that diversity. We need that. Right? Hip hop needs it.
And what I do want to let that everybody that's a fan of that era of music, that gangster, that 90s type music, Serum XM Radio, you can hear it on channel 45 on XM Radio, and then you can also hear it on LL Cool J's Rock the Bell station,
right?
And then on
I wouldn't call it. Hey, look, let me tell you something. It's not gangster music. It's gangster rap.
Gangster rap. Okay,
right.
We got it. Gangster rap.
Because you can put anything on a beat and change the topic of what the beat is. And what the title of the song, you know what I'm saying? So if you would call, Dear Mama, is that a gangster? That's not gangster. But would you say that's gangster rap, or with the beat gangster?
I got it.
Right. But so you kind of pigeonhole. We've been pigeonholed with that gangster word. Like I get it.